Evening, it is July 2nd, 2024 at 6 o'clock for the Select Board meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order and a roll call, please.
Teresa Morse present.
Chaz Sexton-Duranian present, and Joe Shank is excused. He is on vacation. If you could join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to thank all those who served, both past and present, and our first responders. Thank you for your service. The meeting is being recorded and it will be uploaded to YouTube. I do believe we are live on Channel 9 as well. 1.4 Chairman's additions and deletions. Do you have anything?
Yeah, I'm just, maybe I missed it, but did we had members of the historical commissions that June 30th, they needed to be reappointment?
Yes, there's been an issue with the charter, and I have talked to the town council, and I was supposed to have a phone call today with the Ethics Commission, but that'll be on our next agenda.
Oh, yeah, on our
That will
next
be on our
agenda.
next agenda.
Now, do they continue to serve even though they're, how does that work?
Ross?
I would say yes, they continue to serve. Though I'd want to check with Kathy on that and verify that. I'll check with the town clerk tomorrow.
Okay.
And should they get their service ended on June 30th, I think there's 2 members, should they retake the oath of office? Or do they just expect?
They have to be appointed first, so I will check tomorrow if they continue until there is a replacement or if their term expires.
Okay. Go ahead, Jerry. Can I ask Jerry just a question about it?
Yes.
She raised her hand.
I think it's like a business as usual, it's government as usual until we appoint this name.
Correct.
We have to continue on with the historic commission.
That is correct.
We cannot just stop.
That is
Okay.
correct. That is correct. What we're trying to do is there's charter issues with that. And with the ethics, they were supposed to get back to me today in regards to the makeup of the Historic District Commission and the what has been, is that correct or is it not correct? Once I get that, then we'll be able to appoint.
The other thing is, we have a meeting tomorrow for the historic commission, so we have some things to address ourselves there,
Sure.
okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
So they should be present,
Yeah.
Thank you.
unless you hear differently.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, but we'll do all the appointments next meeting.
The next meeting,
Yeah.
okay.
I have 2 additions, Teresa.
Okay,
I'd like to put a letter of support for a planning assistance grant at 1.6.
okay,
And we did get an appointment from the Council on Aging,
okay,
and we're gonna put that one at 3.2.
3.2,
And I
Thank
did put both of those in SharePoint too. I don't know if you saw those.
okay.
Review and approve meeting minutes for 5/21.
You didn't have anything?
You didn't have any issues with that? All right, then I'll look for a motion to approve meeting minutes for May 21st, 2024.
So moved?
And I'll second that. And I didn't see anything either, so I'm okay with that. So all those in favor?
Teresa Morse, yes?
Chaz Sexton-Duranian, yes. The letter of support, this is for a 2025 planning assistance grant. It was brought to our attention that the town of Townsend has been working with Montechusett Regional Planning Commission in regards to the MBTA communities, and they've noticed some discrepancies within the Townsend zoning bylaws. And they had asked us to They would help us out with trying to get the zoning bylaws aligned. And they offered a grant for us to do that. MRPC will go over the bylaw and provide suggestions. So I'll just read the letter, if that's all right.
Okay.
The town of Townsend is in full support of the Montechusett Regional Planning Commission's fiscal year 25 Planning Assistance Grant application to the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs on our behalf to review and amend our zoning bylaws. During the process of considering the MBTA communities law and choosing multifamily overlay districts, MRPC discovered discrepancies and inconsistencies in our site review plan and special permit bylaw requirements and procedures. MRPC will review and recommend amendments to our zoning bylaws for any other housing-related inconsistencies or contradictions, in addition to revising the site plan review and special permit sections of the bylaw. We understand the grant would be from fall 2024 through June 30th, 26, giving MRPC and the planning board plenty of time to repair and revise the town of Townsend's zoning bylaw. The scope of work will have the planning board work with our MRPC to complete the revisions. And that was work that we had from our grant, Aaron Stedfield. And they will work very closely with the planning board to get that taken care of.
So they did very hard work and very good work coming up with the areas. It's not trying to change the areas. They're just trying to just make sure our zoning laws allow those areas.
There are particular bylaws that they're inconsistent with MRPs, with the MBTA. So with them changing our bylaws, it'll be consistent with that. So yes, this is to actually enhance the work that they're doing.
Okay.
And it's merely saying the Board of Selectmen is in support of that. So
Okay. I know they put a lot of work into that.
Oh yeah, I agree. And I've been to several meetings in regards to that. So I'll go ahead and sign that and send it off to the grant administrator if you're okay with that. All right, so now we have a joint meeting with the planning board.
And also, if I may say, just a point of clarification on that work that we're doing with MRPC. If you look at the last planning board meeting, there was a long discussion with the MRPC representative in reference to the size of the lots.
Okay.
So it just might be informational for you to look at.
Okay, will do.
Because I can't remember everything to tell you. Okay.
No, I
just know
don't
what that
believe
is.
that.
Yeah,
Right.
every meeting
Yeah.
has been quite a
Okay.
education.
I will call the joint meeting of the planning board and the board of selectmen to order at 6:08 PM. May I have a roll call vote, please? I have most of my members here.
Carol Hofstas present.
Lance McNally present.
Andrew? I know he was there. I saw him.
Yeah, Andrew, this is Beth Paxson speaking. Andrew's having trouble with connection, so I'm trying to give him the call-in number. So,
Oh, okay. We did all see him before.
He's still there, but he's probably not,
Yeah.
doesn't have audio.
Okay. So anyway, I have a quorum to call to order. And we also have with us Patrick Kwansick. And he's being brought before us this evening to get a vote to make him the associate member of the planning board through June 30th of 25. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint Patrick Kwansick as associate member through what did you say, April 2025?
June 30th, 2025.
Okay.
June 30th.
June 30th, 2025.
I will second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
No.
I do just want to say that we have all the proper paperwork. Thank you, Beth. And also thank Patrick for stepping up. I appreciate the new blood in the planning board. And I'm happy that you want to join us, and I'll probably see you because I usually go to the planning board meetings as your liaison.
Patrick, are you able to put your camera on?
Yeah, so funny story. I don't use this laptop very often, and normally it does work, but today it's not. So it did some sort of an update as soon as I turned it on, and now it doesn't work. So
Okay, well, I also want to introduce Patrick as a member of our military. He's still serving.
Nice.
So, yeah, we appreciate him in many ways. And Andrew, you are on the phone. Are you on your iPhone now?
I'm on my phone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can.
Very good. Thank you.
All right, great.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. We've had discussion. Are we ready to vote? I'll take a roll call vote, please, starting with planning.
Carol Hoff says yes.
Andrew Shepherd, yes.
Lance McNally, yes.
Laura Schifrin, yes.
Teresa Morse, yes?
Chaz Sexton Iranian, yes.
Thank you very much.
All right, you're
Welcome aboard.
unanimous. We'll see you at the next meeting, Patrick.
Make sure you get right into town hall to get sworn in, Patrick.
all right,
See-
thank you.
Okay,
Yep,
thank you
will
very
do.
much.
Adjourn your meeting. Laura.
Thanks, everyone.
Yes, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting at 6:12 PM.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:12 PM.
I will
There's-
second.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Carol Hoff says yes.
Lance McNally,
Andrew
yes.
Shepherd, yes.
And Laura Schifrin, yes.
There you go.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
3.1, I will entertain a motion to appoint a select board member of your choice for alternate to the MART Advisory Board for the term from 7/2/24 to 6/30/25.
I make a motion that we appoint Chaz Sexton Duranian for the Mott Advisory Board for the term from 7/2/24 to 6/30/25.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Teresa A. Marsh, yes?
Chaz Sexton Duranian, yes. I had to go to a meeting today for that too. So,
Yeah, it helps.
all right, well, I'll submit that. 3.2, this is, I'll entertain a motion to appoint Susan R. Gerken to the Council on Aging for a term from 7/2/24 to 6/20/26.
So moved.
I'll second that. Discussion. I received
Just by 6:20 and not 6:30.
6/20/26.
Oh, 26, I'm sorry. Okay, I missed the date.
It could be 6/30, but it's just
Yeah.
until June.
No, that's the time thing. I got it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Teresa A. Marsh, yes?
Chaz Sexton Duranian, yes. 4.1, confirmation of special town meeting dates. All right, Ross.
So, town council, moderator, and town clerk are all good for September 10th. That should be a Tuesday. And we're suggesting that the warrant open on July 29th and close Friday, August 9th at 12 noon.
Okay, so moved. We need a motion for that? Or is that just, we're giving those dates?
Yeah, we would need a motion for that.
Okay, so moved.
And I'll second that. Any discussion?
I think that gives us time to digest any new numbers we might have from the schools, as well as work out exactly what that budget impact will be. I think the intent is that that meeting will be primarily focused on the FY25 budget. But as I said, the warrant would open July 29th and close August 9th. So there might be a few other items being brought up at that time.
And then if there was citizens petitions, they would have to be within that time frame.
Yes.
Anything else, Teresa? Okay, all those in favor?
We have it as 4.1 and 4.2. Should we take it as two separate votes?
However you'd like it.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we, have the special town
Well,
meeting.
we do have a motion on the floor.
Oh, okay, for the,
So,
and then we can approve both. Teresa Raymond's approved for both 4.1 and 4.2, the opening, closing, and the date for the special town meeting.
well, I was going to say, what did you say, Russ? When you said that, you said both of those together?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Then
I
all
can
those-
separate.
You want to separate them?
I don't think we need.
All those in favor?
Teresa Raymond, yes?
Chad Sexton Duranian, yes.
And will Sabrina send out notices to all departments with those dates? So I guess those 3 dates?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'll put that in my packet and I'll see her tomorrow, so we'll go through this. 4.3, discuss fiscal year 25 budget. Yeah. We've been discussing that for,
Why is
Well-
today any different?
I don't know.
I mean, the status as of now is that both override questions did not pass in the ballot after the recount. So that now it brings it back to North Middlesex to come back with a revised budget within 30 days. I heard from Nancy Haynes today that on the June 28th, they voted a lower budget and therefore a lower assessment for Townsend. I believe that number is $243,000 less than the number that was mentioned at town meeting. So I think between now and well, shortly the town ought to give a formal response back to the school. And then we ought to start figuring out how we account for that.
Wasn't there also
increase.
a letter from the superintendent about using reserve funds to supplement the school budget?
Yes, so what they said is they use more E&D funds to help reduce the assessment to the 3 towns. And Townsend's reduction, I believe, is, like I said, $243,000.
Ask Kathy.
Can I ask Ross to clarify if it's from the town meeting, March 19th? A reduction from that number, which was higher than was on the June 11th ballot.
Correct.
So that should be clarified.
Well, they gave me a number on what the total assessment is. I was taking a number from what I believe was the May town meeting number. I don't think, wait a minute, I have their new number, if you want their new number. The new
Yes,
number
please.
is $14,748,550. I believe the number that was talked about at town meeting was 14,991,699. But either way, I believe the new number is 14,748,550.
And Townsend's portion?
That is Townsend's portion.
That is Townsend's portion, thank you.
And so what I want to say about the budget is I'm planning to meet with the finance committee probably every Tuesday, starting near the end of July. And we plan to look at estimated revenues and obviously all the expenses to see if we can how we get to a balanced budget. And that's what our plans will be from July through August, have some, a budget ready for the town meeting.
We are also, Ross, did I send you the letter from, Desi? We're having a meeting on July 19th.
Yes, I saw that. I wasn't sure what the time was, but yes, I've got that marked in my calendar for the 19th.
Yeah, 9 to 11.
Okay,
And, that'll also give us a little more insight on exactly what we're doing. I do believe the school committee is meeting tonight again, from what I understand.
That's my understanding.
okay. I left multiple voice messages for Nancy Hayes today, and we haven't connected yet, but,
Handle. When do we have to get back to the school and say we can support or not support this budget? And them having to provide us with new numbers or accept that?
well, provide a new number.
Oh, it's 30 days to give the new number. I knew there was a 30 days in there. And then how?
The 243,000, that's taken off the figure that we had on the ballot for North Middlesex.
I don't know that I have that ballot with me, but I thought the number was 14,991 on the ballot, no?
That wasn't on the ballot,
No, that was the total, that's the total.
It's not much, it's not the ballot, I think, is the question is what did town meeting vote?
town meeting voted as level funded budget.
Right, that figure. That's what we need
What's the
to do.
level funded figure?
And if do I hear Kathy in the background?
Yeah,
Yes. You want to move closer to the table, Kathy? Do you mind? Please. I'll just order your.
Hi, Ross.
And this was back to the previous topic. I sent you a text or to ask you how long historic district commissioners can be active. If their term ended 6/30, are they active until they replace, or do they stop on 6/30 regardless of whether there's a replacement?
Usually they continue on if they're waiting for reappointment, because especially in this case, there'll only be two active members and all applications will not be allowed to act on.
Okay, so I didn't, Chaz, I'm sorry to go back on you, but I thought we could close this tonight if we got a ruling on whether they're still active until replaced or whether they stop on 6/30.
well, that's what you just said, isn't it? That they can continue,
Yeah, continuity of government.
yeah, so they can continue on and we can do the appointments next meeting.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And that's renewals, right? Or replacement, but renewals.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I just wanted to.
So thank you, Kathy.
Yeah.
The process that I think, well, at least we're looking at is, has the school formally, sent us back that assessment, Ross?
I believe they have. What Nancy sent me today was a copy of the letter that the school sent, so could be somewhere in the mail system, a formal letter saying the new assessment number.
And when are you meeting with the finance committee?
I'm going to say July 3rd.
23rd.
What time's your?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Well, that'll be after we meet with Desi and find out what their conversation is. I also will be meeting with, both the Ashby and Pepperell Town Administrator and, chairs. We will be having a discussion in regards to the whole process involved too. And that is it looks like on the 11th.
What time?
Let's hope I wrote it down, Jerry. Oh, it's at my desk there. 10 a.m. 10 to 12, and it's gonna be here in the Selectmen's chambers. The finance committee members as well, I think are invited, anybody that wants to attend. Yeah. Except for the other select boards, or we have to post for it. Anything else for now, Ross?
Not on those topics, nope.
Okay. Teresa, I did put in, I don't know if you looked at it in SharePoint. We had asked each department to submit a
Yes, I saw
revised
that.
budget, and I put them all in SharePoint just for your reference. If you need anything else in regards to the budget, let me know, and we can get them in there or let Sabrina know, and we can get them in there. In regards to,
My only question about what you selected, does the finance committee have access to those as well?
what we put in, we can,
Yeah,
We
can
can
we
give
do
them
that?
access
Because
to
I
it,
think it would be
absolutely.
helpful at our next meeting, or their next meeting, when
Yeah.
I'll be there as a liaison.
I can do that, so I'll share it with everybody I'll add you guys individually to the folder, so you guys can go in the folder and look at it.
Okay.
Each department put revised budgets with a 10% reduction for each department. So that it'll give us an idea if we need to really cut, we know what to cut with.
And then, can I ask a question, specific question? So on each of several of the budgets, I saw there were reductions, but, at least 3 I looked at had longevity, I can't get the word out. And I thought we had gotten rid of that.
No, those are all union
Okay.
based.
Okay. So it was not union. Okay. And they can't cut that based on union. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's collective bargaining, so we have to adhere to that. Anything else?
That was all I saw there.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so, what I plan to do is to let people know as we progress through this. I haven't seen the budget numbers yet from the school. And then I was hoping, I had asked to schedule a meeting as soon as we can so that, the selectmen can talk in regards to what we see for, how we're gonna cut through the fog here. I have suggestions, I'm sure that Joe has suggestions, and I'm sure you have some ideas as well. So because this just happened on Friday, I'm still piecing together what I do, so, and then we have the holiday this week, so I'm looking at sometime probably early next week. You going on vacation or are you going out of town?
Not till August.
Okay, so we're looking at, I'm gonna try to do it like around noontime or something, if that's okay.
And did you get my email about, would it be helpful to have an explanation of the process?
Yes, we're gonna put it on to give Kathy some time, to be able to get prepared.
You don't instantly? Oh, never mind. We haven't told you yet.
We haven't told you yet.
I want you to explain government to us. Have a government 101 class on how recounts work. Next meeting.
Let's see. Your next meeting should be a joint meeting with, you're not.
For
The
who?
historical district.
Yes,
With the Board of Selectmen should be at a joint meeting with the,
It doesn't have to be because it's, yeah, elected boards that are appointing is when you'd have to have the joint.
Okay.
But with, was that, are they elected? Are they elected? No, yeah, that's why you're an appointed board, so.
You're
Any,
just not.
no,
You're more
elected
welcome.
board, if the selectman is appointing, it has to be, done with both boards.
you're more welcome to attend and
Good.
appoint,
Oh, everybody's
support
welcome.
your renewal.
All right. Anything else, Ross? Are you all set?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, Teresa, are you good?
I'm good. Thank you, ladies. See you at finance.
4.4, Town Administrator Search Committee Process Recommendations. The reason why, Teresa, I had this on there is we had not had a chance to talk in regards to our interviews that we had last week.
Correct.
And however you want to be able to do this. I wanted to make sure that was the two individuals that we interviewed. Did you want to? Did you feel that we need to move forward with one, or how what say ye?
I'd be interested to hear what, there's just been so many people coming down the line that I'd be interested to see if the committee has any others that they'd like to present, or is this the only two that they feel they should be presenting at this time? The problem with that, though, I know we've already lost people that they wanted to present, and by the time they reached out back to them, they had already went elsewhere. So I don't want to get caught in that trap either, so.
Well, the concern I have is proper hiring practices. So they've sent forward two individuals.
Okay.
So we would make a decision on whether we want to go to offer one of the two individuals.
Okay.
If the board felt that they didn't want to move forward with one of the two individuals, then we would need to go to phase 2, but we need to close phase 1.
You have to phase 1, okay. I wasn't clear that that's the process. So I would not have an issue going forward with one of the individuals, right? So, at this point, I think the board worked very hard on coming up with names, and I was happy with one of the individuals. So I wouldn't have trouble going forward with one.
Okay. I can't work. This is a board decision. Your committee has placed two candidates to us, and we interviewed them. And, I would like to move forward with one of them too. I just don't know if it's the same one or not. So, how do you want to do this?
Well, I'll make a motion, I gotta pull up the names, to move forward with the appointment, if you're okay with that. What do you with the one I'm thinking.
If, I don't know if it matters, Joe's not here, but when I talked to him, I thought he would like to at least see if there was another candidate before he makes that decision. But there's only the two of you voting tonight.
Right, and again,
Then we'd have to pass off
We-
these two.
we have to pass up these two if that is the case, if we want to move forward.
I don't know what you have to pass up. You could hold a decision to talk to an additional candidates, and you might still come back to saying you pick one of the first two. But it's up to you.
That's different than what Chaz believes.
That, I don't believe that. I believe that we had two finalists that were sent to us to ask us to interview. We interviewed, and we need to make a decision on these two before we can move on to at least I believe that is the process.
So could the decision be made? I'm just asking because I just know how I work in private industry, and I know this is completely different than private industry. But to tell the person we tell like one person we decided to move on, and tell the second person we're not 100%, we're going to do some looking, but we haven't ruled it out. We don't have that option here.
I would want to check with our labor attorney then, if that's what you want to do. I'm more concerned about the process involved in this.
Yeah.
You know, this is putting.
I mean, the search committee felt that they provided you with two viable candidates.
Correct.
So there's nothing wrong with these two. From their perspective, I think it's a board's choice whether to pick from these two or to continue looking.
Say something
Um,
about the process. Just because of what we did.
I understand, but
No, we continued the process.
I understand that, but the whole thing is,
The applications and interviews continued, they were not closed. After we sent the two, they were not closed.
I understand that.
Continued our process.
I understand that as well, but according to how I believe the process is the committee is supposed to supply two candidates. You have two candidates that were supplied to us. We have opened up their names up to the general public and interviewed them in public.
Yes.
All right, and we are to choose from those two. Adding somebody else afterwards, you know, I don't think it's fair to those two. Now the question is, if we do decide to, well, I would like to move forward with one of them. And you said that you would like to move forward with one of them, and that's the only my concern about that.
Well, it could be two, we could be against.
Oh, that never happened.
That never happened. I think in the fairness, like you said, I would hate to publicly have it out there that I'm willing to leave my job and then just be put on hold as well. I think it was a public interview, etc.
That's my only concern. It's.
But I can also understand we had them continually to come in. I can float on this. I can, stand on the wall with this, but because we kept it open and it was like, wait a minute, why did you even interview me? Put me through this if you already put two forward. But it could be that, right, well, they didn't know. with those two. We have to keep it open until we decide somebody.
Well, we could choose one, I guess we can. Just think the process is wrong, the way the process is.
Both of them, when they're interviewed and made public, they know that ahead of time. Neither one of them may get the job, even though they made themselves public and they knew that ahead of time.
Right,
But we asked the committee to supply us with finalists. You supplied us with 2 finalists.
At that time.
It doesn't matter at that time, you supplied us with 2 finalists.
It is dissolved the committee to say what it's done.
Right. but the two that we met with, we have to make some sort of decision on. It's what you're saying, and I can understand that. If we met with them, then if we say no to both, then we go back to the committee and say, you haven't been dissolved yet, and we'd like to see more candidates. If we agree that one of them's a good candidate, we move forward, see how negotiations go. If that doesn't go well, then we go back to the committee and say, provide us with another candidate or 2 more candidates. But to not do anything with the 2 we have, I can understand your concern.
I'm just thinking of fair hiring practices.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to move forward with Nelson Mori
As well.
as my suggestion. Ross, we're both in agreement in regards to the individual that we would like to move forward.
Okay, then I think a motion to appoint, did I hear Nelson?
Yes.
Subject to contract negotiations.
And then, so moved.
Second. Discussion.
I think since we've gotten to this point, then we would take no more further candidates. If this doesn't work out, we still have a large pool. If contracts don't work out, we still have a large pool to go back to.
I'm okay with that. All those in favor?
You say, Marcia?
Chad Sexton-Duranian, yes. So can we have Sabrina contact Nelson and let him know that we would like to enter into negotiations?
Yes.
Can we ask that he go a year without pay until we get the budget straightened out?
I don't think that would work.
That's a,
And I can send a note to Adam to have him draw up a draft contract.
I think that would be. Did Adam do it before? No, actually, we did the contract.
And I think it would be very similar to the one you signed with Eric, but unless there's changes you want in it.
I think I'd be okay with doing the same as Eric, and then we can discuss it when that comes back.
Okay, so maybe Sabrina could pull up Eric's contract and he can send it to me, or she can edit, basically changing names and leaving the salary line blank. Or I'll be glad to look at it between now and when I get back if you want.
Okay. And well, do you want to let Sabrina know, or do you want me to let Sabrina know?
If you wouldn't mind doing that, that'd be great.
I can do that. I will talk to her tomorrow, and we will contact the gentleman, and we'll get the ball rolling. We'll set, we can, put this in our next, selectmen's meet. No. Why don't we see how quickly we can get the turnaround on this, and then we'll set a special meeting.
To review the contract,
Yeah.
okay?
You okay with that, Teresa?
Yes, I am.
Um, 4.5, agenda item deadline change. I put this on the agenda to, I had a conversation with Kathy and Jessica downstairs in the clerk's office. And I just wanted to make sure that, A, we have a clear process, and B, we were doing a lot of revisions.
Yeah.
And that's problematic, not only for us, but for them as well.
Okay,
Did you get a chance to look at?
yes, I did.
Okay.
So I had no problem.
You have any issues with that? No? This will be that when we finally post it, that posting will be that's it, no more changes, except for emergency additions and deletions if we need it.
The only thing I didn't see in there is if the Zoom link changes, that should be a revision if it's not the correct. Sometimes the incorrect Zoom link or the incorrect date is on there.
We would do that immediately.
Yeah. Okay.
Once we change that.
But I didn't see it written out there, was it?
No, I didn't put it in there.
Okay.
The concern was that, we would be getting things from other
Right.
boards and commissions, and they're like, can you put this on the next agenda?
Right.
And we would do the revision, and then we'd get something else and then do the revision again. So we were adding things, and I just wanted to make it easier.
The only time I think we should, unless it's urgency, like it does say in that, is, like I said, if there's incorrect information that the Zoom link is wrong or the date is wrong, then that has to be revision done correct immediately.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
But this would be that we can make the submissions for the agenda will be for that Wednesday when we have our meeting. But then we won't post it until Friday because sometimes we have changes, we need to do a reallocation or whatever, and those, we can do all of those during the week. So then Friday at 11 o'clock, that hour, meeting the Board of Selectmen's deadline, we can post then, just so we stay within that framework, and more importantly, we're not going down every 15 minutes to the clerk's office, because that's a lot of work for them too. 4.6, discuss and vote Bluebird houses at Squanicook Meadows. I'm going to read the letter in the record. This is from Autumn Buck, our conservation agent. Dear members of the Board of Selectmen, I hope this letter finds you well. I'm writing to bring to your attention a proposal that I believe would benefit our community and enhance the environmental stewardship efforts at the Townsend Ashby Youth Soccer Association, Squanicook Meadows soccer fields, specifically concerning the conservation of local bird species. The Tesa soccer fields are not only a vibrant hub of activity for our community sports enthusiasts, but also play a crucial role as a habitat for local wildlife. In order to enhance the biodiversity of this area, I propose installing 3 bluebird houses within the tall grass areas of the property. These bird houses have been purchased with funding from the Conservation Commission and will be positioned at the height of 4 to 6 feet facing eastward to optimize their effectiveness. Native to our region, bluebirds have encountered challenges such as habitat loss and competition from non-native species. Given the expansive open space of the soccer fields, I'm confident that this location will offer an ideal environment for these birds to nest and thrive. This initiative not only supports our community's commitment to environmental sustainability, but also promises to enhance the natural beauty of the Tesa soccer fields. Installing these bird houses would provide much-needed nesting sites for bluebirds, helping to stabilize their population and contributing to the overall ecosystem health of the Tesa fields. These houses would also serve as educational tools, allowing residents and visitors to learn about the importance of habitat conservation and the role that each of us can play in supporting local wildlife. Once I receive your approval, I am eager to volunteer my time to install the birdhouses. I firmly believe this initiative reflects our community's dedication to environmental sustainability and will significantly enhance the natural beauty of the Tesa soccer fields. Please let me know if there are any additional steps or information needed to move forward with this proposal. I look forward to your consideration of this request and to working together to enhance our community's natural environment. Autumn Buck, which I think the name is appropriate for a conservation agent. So I would entertain a motion to approve the bluebird houses at Squanicook Meadows soccer fields.
So moved.
And I'll second that. Any further discussion?
My only question is, if I doing my bluebird houses right, and I might be doing them wrong, they have to be maintained every year. You can't leave the previous nest in there, and I didn't see anything about maintenance.
I can talk to land use office about that.
But I could be wrong, and I should be leaving the nest in there, but I'm pretty sure it was the Audubon said to take them because they start new each year and they don't reuse the nest.
We can check with that.
Thank you. You also have
I
to,
don't remember seeing anything about.
the big thing, you have to make sure hornets don't go in, because then that will stop the bleed. They just gotta be checked every now and then.
We can check on that just for the.
Thank
you. All those in favor?
Teresa Marsh, yes?
Chad Sexton Duranian, yes. And thank you, Autumn, for your work on this. 5.0 ARPA projects. Do you have anything on that, Ross?
Well, I don't have anything on the opera projects.
Okay. I did have a conversation with Katie today in regards to what we have there. I do need to talk with you about some of the things that I discovered, but we had, when we first established this, there was a spreadsheet that had all of the allocation sheets and what they were for and all of that. I'm going to try to see if I can try to find those documents between now and next week, and hopefully get an agreement between Katie and I that we are both on the same page, and then I'll bring it forward to the board so that we can see if we need to do any reallocations. It's July, and I want to make sure that we have the remaining funds are what's the word? They're either under contract or
Encumbered.
encumbered. Yes. I just want to make sure that gets done because I don't want to have to do this on the last minute. 5.1 Town Administrator updates and reports.
I've got a couple here. Atwood Acres has been dealing with a bed bug problem. Although this is a private enterprise and it's up to them to solve the problem, Townsend Board of Health has been providing assistance, mostly in offering to do some training. Last week, Chaz held a meeting that was very well attended with several managers from Atwood Acres, Townsend Board of Health representative, director of the senior center was there, state representative was there, and along with her staff. We discussed the planned remediation steps and took steps to prevent any of the bed bugs from being transmitted to other town facilities. And we'll meet again in August to check on progress and, if necessary, figure out next steps. So as much as this is an uncomfortable problem for their residents, I think we are working the best, and the Atwood Acres is working the best they can to solve this.
I have an update on that too, Ross. We have some volunteers that are going to be helping us with the residents. There's a prep that needs to happen before the treatment is applied. And some of the individuals that are over at that facility either don't have family or they don't have support to be able to help them out with that. And Elise and I are gathering together some volunteers that are willing to go over and help them with the prep so that the treatment is more effective, just so you know.
Okay, thank you. It sounds like it's a coordinated effort all the way around.
Yeah.
The trash contract, the board had previously voted to extend last year's contract into FY25. I just saw an email a few minutes ago from town council saying that there's a few more changes they'd like to put into that base contract before it's extended. So I think that's still waiting for those updates. Now that we know that the two override votes to fund the schools have failed, I think the board and the finance committee and I, will explore options to possibly change the funding source for the trash contract. But that I think had been talked about in the past, but I think that's certainly on the table. The fire union contract, the town and the fire union have reached an agreement on terms. The MOU is available for the board. Hopefully they'll sign that tonight. Since the old contract expired on June 30th and today is July 2nd, but before the current pay period ends, I'm going to declare that we successfully concluded these negotiations without a lapse in the contract. Thus, we avoided the potential of having to calculate and make retro payments. And I want to thank the town and the union negotiating team for their patience and their reasonable positions during these negotiations. Police union, old grievance was settled. The grievance has been dropped and the town has made a payment covering that settlement. Next department is the highway department. There was a vehicle accident. I think it was relatively minor. There were no injuries. Per the town's policy, a drug and alcohol tests were done and performed, and both of those tests came back negative, i.e. no drugs or alcohol were detected in the drivers. Conservation Commission, their administrative assistant has resigned, seeking opportunities elsewhere. Although her services are important to the Conservation Commission, we will leave that temporarily open until we know exactly where we are in the FY25 budget. The land use coordinator said that she can cover her the admin's duties for a short period of time, and HR will conduct a exit interview. I think we've already talked about the budget. In my mind, we're starting the FY25 budget process all over again, looking at revenues to see if there's any way we can be more aggressive, yet still accurate in estimating revenues and looking at what we can do to cut costs. You talked about the special town meeting. There's also a request from the COA director to increase wages for van drivers, to bring them up to $18 an hour to make them competitive with other towns. I think maybe that will show up on an agenda item for the next meeting. And the last is how many hours you'd like me to work as interim TA. Due to budget constraints and direction from the board, I've been trying to work close to 20. I think I've been averaging about 24 hours a week. I think to do this job, well, really you need 40 or 50 hours, but I think 30 hours as interim might be sufficient. And I want to assure you and anybody listening, I'm not trying to extend my hours. I honestly want to enjoy retirement in the summer, but also I feel that we need to get things done as they should be. And 20 to 24 hours isn't enough. So it's up to the board if they'd like to extend my hours on a weekly basis.
So my thought was that we limited Ross's hours during June because it was the end of the fiscal year. Now we're in a new fiscal year. we had said when we first had Russ come back that as of July, we'll rehash what we think about that. I think 30 hours is reasonable for right now. I'm being very cautious on the amount of work that's being placed on him right now, but I didn't expect the budget to be to come back like this. I didn't realize we were going to do the amount of work that we do. What are your thoughts on that, Teresa?
I guess my first thought is, of course, if we do anything that costs money, we're gonna hear about it in the grocery store. But with the fact that we have an offer out to somebody, I'd like to get a sense on how quickly that person might be moving forward before we make a final decision.
So I can give you an estimate of what it took for Eric. We planned on 6 weeks. We were able to get him on board in 4. So, and that was from the time that we gave him the letter, and then he was very responsive of coming in and negotiating with us.
Okay, so yeah, if we're not talking 12, 18, 24 weeks, that you think it will do, like I said, I'm hoping that it either goes smoothly or we move to another candidate. Oh, then I have no issue as well. But I wouldn't like to see him carrying on and on and on. Well,
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either.
And neither,
You just cut out, Ross. We didn't hear that.
I was echoing your comments that you don't want this to drag on forever.
Okay. What I was hoping is that we have a discussion, Ross and I, in regards to what we have on the table, as far as what the things that we have going on, and limiting that to about 30 hours a week, and then
cutting back to 20. Maybe we can do that. Up to 30 hours a week, up to 60 days, and then reassess.
Yep, we can do that.
We can do that.
Yeah.
I'm only going to work what is, I think, absolutely necessary, and I'm glad to check with the board before each week. I would prefer it to be less than 30 hours, honestly, but I don't believe the job can adequately be done in 20 or 24 hours. When we said 20, that was assuming there wasn't a union contract to finish up, which is now done, but it was also assuming that the budget was done and town meeting was done with. It looks like we're going to have another town meeting in September, not to mention a lot of work with budgets. So I'm trying to be realistic, and I won't work any more than absolutely necessary, but I think there's functions that should be addressed and handled weekly.
To help get us to the next town meeting, I'd like to make a motion that we extend Ross's hours to up to 30 hours a week until the September town meeting.
Okay. I'll second that. All those in favor?
Teresa A. Marsh, yes?
Chad Sexton Duranian, yes. And Ross, I would like to be able to sit down, as we do anyway, every time you come back, just to, I want to fill you in on the things that I've been doing, and then we can set a course for the both of us. I'd also like to have a little bit of overlap when and if we get the new TA in here.
Yes, all of that. I'm more than willing to you and the board about tasks that I think need to be done, and you can say, yes, do those, or hold those. I mean, you're in control on this.
Yeah. So, as we said, it'll be in up to 30 hours, and we trust you to be, if you need the 30 hours, then you have them.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
5.2, reports from boards liaisons.
So, we kind of brought on it, but I want to make it clear. So I had a member from the Energy Committee that's due for renewal or replacement. I have a couple of members from Historical Society renewal, or hopefully all of these are renewals. needed on these boards. Finance Committee has somebody, coming up, and there was one other committee, and that, each of these committees asked about when these renewals were coming forward, but you already answered that.
Yes, any questions on that, they can go right to the clerk, because the clerk can answer those much quicker than we
Okay,
could.
well, all of these were June 30th appointments.
Right, so there's reappointment forms, and then if they are hiring, not hiring, if they're getting somebody new, then it would be a volunteer response form.
So they're supposed to put in a reappointment form?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a reappointment.
I did
form.
not know that, so I didn't say that to the
Okay.
meeting, so I'll make sure that they all know that.
It's a reappointment form, and it needs to be signed by the chair. So they need to, just so that board or committee is bringing that person
Yeah,
forward.
I apologize, I didn't know that, and I
Nope, that's-
didn't inform, three board meetings I attended, and I didn't bring that up once. And then the other thing I like to bring up, I wasn't there, but I watched it, it was on, we had, I think the same meeting that we had, or whatever, but the Energy Committee, has been, as they always are, have, a lot of grant management, that they're working with, Eric, couldn't remember his name for a minute, was working very closely with them on some of the stuff. I referred them to Ross, and I know, Ross, you were able to get back to Ron or Michael, I believe. Most of the grants are coming from RISE, which is part of Unitel, which is the grant. So if you're right, I'm just gonna read where we stand now. Okay. So we closed, and they filed closeout documents to Unitel for the Memorial Hall and Garage weatherization projects. So we should be getting that money. They're 100% complete, start date 1/30/24, completion date 3/12/24. We also closed out documents to Unitel for Spalding Memorial weatherization problem. Those we can process those rebates. That 100% complete, 2/20/24, 3/15/24. Most of the lighting at Spalding Memorial's complete. They're scheduling the final work in the gym, finishing up loose ends, and they hope to sign off document once they confirm this week. So they were supposed to be sending sign off documents for the last town meeting. They sent them in 6/1. I don't know if those have been signed off yet. I'll have
Where
to
did they
double check.
send them?
They sent those probably to Ross.
I don't believe I've seen any sign-off documents. I've seen inquiries about whether the projects are done and, the forms submitted to Unitel for rebate as appropriate. But
Okay, I'll check with Ron on that then.
Yeah, Teresa, if you could take the lead on that, because
Yeah,
I
I will.
don't know any of those grants, and you're more familiar with them.
Okay.
If you could project manage those and get those to Ross.
And that was basically the last of those grants. And then they were gonna start, those were the 20 earlier one with the four new projects that we approved this year.
Good.
Okay, but we have a meeting June. I got another meeting coming up, so I'll find out.
Yeah,
where we
I got
are.
an email, I was copied in an email, and I was like, I didn't answer it because I don't know anything about that particular grant. 'cause
Yeah, and I certainly don't want to sign off that it's complete, because I don't know what complete is,
Right.
but they certainly do. They can tell you by the lumen if it's complete
Right,
or
right.
not. So I will follow through with that.
All right, I'd appreciate that. Anything else?
Finance, we're meeting, we're more regular too. We can figure out, where we're proceeding. So I did talk about the budgets that you had, and I asked you if we can share those with those. I think that would make things, help them as well. And, historical they're meeting tomorrow, but I don't want to say they have questions, because that's not the right term. Well, they have members that have to renew, but I guess I didn't tell them, they have to hand the paperwork, so I'll take care of that tomorrow. But they want to just make sure we're all on the same page on the town line, no, it's not town line, what's the new area that we're building?
Oh, the historic village?
Right.
Yeah.
So, they just want to make sure they're working with us correctly, and they're working with the other people that are involved, like Gary, correctly, and
The only concern, I had received a phone call from the Ethics Commission because all but one member of the Historic District Commission was also members of the Historic Society. And the concern was that there is, you either are on one or another. So I was asked to submit the charter for how that group is organized. And the charter states specifically that the Historic Society should have 2 nominations, with one of them being on the Historic District Commission. They need an architect on there, and they also need a real estate agent. The rest can be at-large members, but one of those at-large members need to be living in a historic district. So it's very strict.
Okay, right.
There are a couple individuals that have filed disclosures with the Ethics Commission, and the Ethics Commission said that it really depends on what, how did they phrase it? They have to do like a notice of, a certificate of appropriateness. So when somebody wants to change the windows in a historic district, they submit an application for a certificate of appropriateness. They look at the plans. They decide whether or not those windows are appropriate for a historic house, and then they sign off on it.
Okay.
All right. The concern from the Ethics Commission is having members both on the Historic Society, which is a private organization, and on the Historic District Commission.
Now, the Historic Society is a committee in town, right, that I'm the liaison for?
Correct.
That's all I know about it, so yeah, help and educate me. The Historic District is an elected board, or that's also appointed?
Historic District Commission is an appointed board.
That's also an appointed board.
Yes.
And
that's what they asked earlier. That's what she was asking me, if they needed to have the other members here when we were appointing. We only have a joint meeting if it's an elected board.
Gotcha.
So
okay. I think she was asking about for renewals and stuff, because you know how we just had for the planning, we all voted. She was thinking, she's up for renewal, Jerry, I think, and she was thinking, do I have to have?
There's a couple of them, but again, the concern has nothing to do with
the person. It has to do with the district or whatever.
It has to do with the charter.
The charter.
And if the Ethics Commission said that we don't have to adhere solely to the charter, then I don't have a problem with reappointing anybody.
Okay.
But the concern is that the majority, or the majority members that are on the Historic District Commission are also on the society. So if there's because the society has buildings in a historic district, if they have to vote on certificates of appropriateness on one of the buildings that are from the Historic Society, then there's a conflict of interest. That's what they're concerned about.
So if we were to say the mission of the district versus the mission of the society, could you break that down for me?
The society is it's a nonprofit organization. So
how is that, like, we have the Energy Commission, whatever, why am I a liaison to a private?
You're a liaison to the Historic District Commission, not the society. Right.
Thank you. Okay, now I got it.
So
Okay,
the District Commission they have three
right.
three
You
separate
can put
areas
these
in
windows in, you can paint your house purple, right?
Well, I say that to a historian here. No, there was no purple back in the day. But they would be looking at the appropriateness of how it fits in with the district.
Gotcha, okay. And Historical Society, I know quite well.
Right.
The ones that,
Right,
okay,
so.
now I got it,
it's the
okay.
difference. And now, and to answer or to actually expand on your comment, has nothing to do with the people, it has to do with the charter.
Right.
And because I
So
was
there's no
contacted by the
problems
ethics,
with the
I
charter
wanted to do
for
whatever.
finance and charter for energy, they just gotta get their forms in.
Correct.
And that's where I
Yeah.
misled.
The only
I
concern
don't
is
wanna
that
say misled them,
They
but I
have to
didn't
have
get.
a signature from the chair, and a couple of those did not have signatures from the chair as well. That's the
Okay.
concern.
Okay,
So if we follow the process and we,
the chair of the committee or
correct,
okay, thank you,
correct.
okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman,
Yeah, go ahead.
is there anything else I can do for you tonight, or are you all done with me?
No, you can go fishing.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Ross.
Okay, bye now.
Bye now.
So I was over, I marched in the parade on Saturday over at Pepperell. And it seemed like I was a beacon for people to come up and talk to me about things that I really didn't
You're
want to
much
talk
braver
about.
than I.
I did have a conversation with Betty May. She said that she left a message and she didn't hear back with you. There was, we have,
I have no message. But I'll stop by and visit her.
okay. She has three,
Probably
she has,
left it at 597-6702, which hasn't had a phone attached to that landline in 200 years.
well, we were standing in line ready for the parade to step off and she came running over to me and started talking. So it's like, they have three, lawn parties that are open, July 11th, July 25th, and August 8th. And she wanted, us to announce that, the band can perform without a lawn party being held in conjunction with it, but having refreshments available is certainly a nice addition, and local organizations or projects can financially benefit from having concessions. So they are looking for July 11th, July 25th, and August 8th for the lawn party.
Okay,
I think this also dovetails into a conversation you and I had. I think that we need to have some kind of, I know that on the local channel, they have what volunteer that they have to do.
right.
But I'd like maybe to reach out and see what we can do to get the word out
Yeah,
better.
get the different boards if they're available. We can sponsor one and get the different boards that are looking for help to come out.
Yeah, we're
Explain
doing
what
Kids
they did.
Country Playground.
Right.
We're doing
But
that.
that's already sponsored. Maybe we could sponsor, just do the town of Townsend, learn more about it, what the different committees do. Meet, like Mr. Rideout about the rail trail and
You mean like have a tent or something?
just that they have, most of them are up in tables and stuff like that. And
Okay.
just have the different,
But they're looking for us to sponsor the lawn parties, so that
Right.
means to do hamburgers, hot dogs,
Yeah.
popcorn, all of
but
that.
then if we're gonna do that, like I said, invite like the energy committee there to explain better what they do and invite the
Oh, I see what you're saying.
seat at the table. We'll do the hot dogs and hamburgers and all of that. But invite, Board of Health, but Historical District, all of those to put a table or a tent or something and explain what they do. Meet your town
That's a good idea. Anybody who has openings.
and have the volunteer forms right there on the table.
All right, but, those are the band concerts, and I think those are really important, and,
Mhm.
I like going to the concerts.
Now, when is the kids one? I thought I was, had a meeting,
I think
I
it was
think
the
that way, that's the
17th.
17th, 18th it must be.
18th,
Because
yeah.
I said I didn't think I could go, but let me double check on
I think it's the
that one.
18th.
Because there was something I had that day, but it might have cleared up. So do you want to make a motion to sponsor the 25th and see if we can get other members of the town? Bring out tables and
I
see
want to
what
do
they
it the
do?
other way around.
Okay,
Let's see if we can get other people to help us before we commit to
okay.
it. because I see you and I doing hamburgers and hot dogs, and nobody else there.
Hey, I'm from a family of 9. I can serve 200 people hot dogs and hamburgers without any help at
I'm a
all.
family of 7, so yeah. My mother's favorite dish was the American chop suey. She could make it for like 50 people if
Yep.
she needed to. Okay, we can move on. Public safety. I didn't see anything from Joe for public safety. 5.3 announcements.
I didn't
I
have
did want to
anything.
go through a couple of them. One of them is I wanted to let you know, Teresa, in the town, if they wanted to know. We had, as part of our new insurance agent that we've gone to, we've reduced the cost of our insurance about $30,000 in total, our premium. We had $100,000 for cyber liability. And they did an audit. I submitted all of the upgrades that we did to our system. And I got this letter saying, I have some great news. They increased our limit to $250,000 because of the safeguards we have on our system.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. So that's a big plus. A, we're saving money, and B, we have more coverage on what we have. We have legal notices here. This first one is for Wednesday, July 10th at 7 p.m. The Townsend Conservation Commission will consider a request for determination of applicability to install a crushed stone pad in a 12 by 24 shed on 94 Main Street in Townsend. And again, that's on July 10th at 7 o'clock. On Wednesday, July 10th at 7:15, they are looking at a notice of intent filed by Matthew S. Morrow, Environmental Consulting, for the applicant Ace Your Home Lux LLC for a property at 21 Emery Road. The proposed work is for replacement of an existing septic system within the 100-foot buffer zone. It is a joint hearing. It is in regards to Townsend Wetlands Protection Bylaw and Regulations Act. And also on Wednesday, July 10th at 7 o'clock, the Conservation Commission will review a request for determination of applicability regarding the upgrade of the current septic system through the installation of Presby type system. It is located on 18 Coppersmith Way, and it's going to be submitted by Dillis and Roy Civil Design Group. We do have, there was a resignation. Beth Faxon, who was on the Townsend Bylaw Committee, she is regrettably submitting her resignation because of her increased demands as the Planning Board and Zoning Board of Appeals admin. We also have a resignation for John Walsh from the Amanda Dwight Entertainment Committee. Finally, there's safety improvements at municipal bus stops. There's a survey that has been done. There's actually 2, one of which is a corridor survey for Route 2. That's a safety survey. I just put it up I've just asked to have it on the website.
Okay.
There's results from a survey that they did for District 3. I think the findings, if anybody's interested, it's pretty in-depth into what they feel that Route 2 corridor and how to get up this way.
Okay.
Their suggested improvements for District 3, which dovetails into our area. They talk about Lunenburg, they talk about Fitchburg coming
Because you
north.
can't get there.
Exactly. They talk about truck routes and their recommendations for changes for truck routes. because you know how we have problems out in West Elm and all of that.
Yep.
In regards to that. And outside of that, I don't have anything more. Do you have anything?
I do not.
As Ross said, we did have an amended fire contract. The trash contract, as he said, I had to track down our last contract for our attorney
Okay.
from 2021 that took me a little bit of time to find. I sent it in this morning and they reviewed it and then came back. We just need to make a couple of adjustments and that should be all set. And bus stop safety survey, and I think that's it. So our next meeting is going to be July 16th, 2024, and I'll entertain a motion to review and sign payroll and bills payable warrants out of session.
So moved.
And I'll second. All those in favor?
Teresa, you want yes?
Chaz Sexton Duranian, yes. All you now.
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 7:26.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Teresa, you want yes?
Chaz Sexton Duranian, yes. Thank you very much, everybody.
Enjoy the 4th.